What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Inside Brooklyn. I am your host, Jams. I am the owner and founder of WJMS Radio Reimagined. Shout out to Trendy Trippin' and Brooklyn Commons for sponsoring this podcast and giving us this beautiful location to record from every single week. Inside Brooklyn is our podcast and our way of shining the spotlight on some entrepreneurs, vendors, creatives, movers and shakers in the Brooklyn community who are making a difference that you might not have otherwise gotten a chance to hear about. So we like to take that time to let them talk about what they're doing, talk about community resources they may be in need of, and of course just explain what's going on in their lives and something that you guys can all relate to on some level or another. So before we get into the show for this afternoon, I normally have a co-host. She's not here for this episode. She will be back. But I want to get into the show for today because I have a really great guest with me. Her name is Christina Artwell, and she is the founder and creator of the Artwell Creative, which is really exciting. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, plus her background and where she came from, and how that kind of played a role in the creation of this, what she's doing today. So Christina is born and raised in Brooklyn. She's Caribbean American. At a young age, she took to art, music, and dance. And in college, she fell in love with fashion and actually created her own fashion line, which is super impressive because I wasn't doing that in college. Now at 28 years old, she's the founder of a full-service creative agency called the Artwell Creative, where she uses her experience from fashion, event production, entertainment, and music industries to work on innovative projects. So, Christina, thanks for joining me today. How are you doing?
Thanks for having me. I'm good.
Of course. So I want to talk about this clothing line, first of all, because I'm like, wait a minute, I'm in college, I'm thinking to myself, I'm trying to figure out when I'm having brunch, when I'm going to the dining hall, if I can go to a party. Yeah. You're over here starting a whole fashion line. So what were you doing in college? What was your major, and sort of where did the idea for the fashion line?
In college, I went to Baruch College, and I had no clue what I was trying to do at all. So even there, I was trying to do an ad hoc major, and basically an ad hoc major, you could combine like a business course with an arts course and kind of do your own thing.
Okay.
So I was trying to understand how to really grasp that and do it, but at the same time, I was a part of a lot of club organizations. So one girl I met, her name was Cynthia, and she basically, in essence, just kind of threw the fashion club at me. I was just like, okay, I'll see what to do. I don't know how to do this, but in the end, I know that I just want to bring people together, talk about certain things regarding fashion. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll do it. And through college, I met one of my great friends, Eleanor Biasuto. So she's a fashion design major. She actually grew up in France. And then, she grew up in France and then came to America. And she actually went to Massachusetts for...
Hey, wait a minute. I'm from Massachusetts. You're just going to be in here playing boxing.
I was to go to France and Massachusetts, okay, sure.
Yeah, that's a little bit.
But then she ended up in New York, where we met in college, and she helped me through the fashion organization by just assisting me, and she basically told me, she's just like, well, you dress well, and just make your own clothes. It's like, how? I'm like, how are you gonna just throw me I can dress well and then say, let's just make our own clothes? And then she actually really inspired me, so I took some classes at FIT just for the winter, and I took pattern making and sewing. And from that, I just kind of said, okay, let me just kind of put two and two together, and I started with spandex. Okay. So with spandex clothes, I didn't really take measurements or anything.
Yeah, stretch.
Exactly. So I just kind of did a quick pattern with that. And then a friend saw what I was doing, and she's just like, well, I have an opportunity for a fashion show. So I mean, if you finish up those, then maybe you could be in my show.
What?
Everything was just hitting and connected. Yeah. So I was just like, okay, cool. So I got the inspiration to basically do Caribbean mix of Harajuku styles, and I called my line Malio. So it was just for my eccentric taste and just colors, my love for color and vibrancy and just having fun with that. So I was able to pursue that. A lot of people did like my clothes, but at the time I didn't understand the business part. So here I am just buying clothes, showing off, saying, I can sew, and then in the end I was just like, oh, I'm broke.
Whoops.
Yeah. But after that, I decided to really take it more serious and seek mentorship and internships to really understand what I was getting into. So that's my story with my line, and it's still in the works.
I was gonna say, are you still doing it? Whatever happened to it? What are you doing now?
So a tragic thing did happen about 3 years ago. I did have a house fire. So no, it's okay. Nobody got injured or hurt, but I did lose my sewing machines, my inventory, my fabrics. So I had to like kind of come to terms with that and I just like see where I was going to start off with, because even at that time I wasn't really sewing. I was actually letting my talents go to waste because I was just consumed by work and consumed by everything, just trying to pay bills. So when that actually did happen, it allowed me to take a step back to really ask, what am I really trying to do and how am I really trying to approach things?
Wow.
So through that, we actually got a lot of money from the insurance. So with that, I was able to take time to really understand how to approach business. And I said, what was my main issue when I was trying to really push my line forward? And it was really just finding platforms consistently to really like put myself out and really understand where I was trying to like position myself and go. So when I assessed that, I was just like, oh, let me just start an organization. Since I've been like doing bartending, I've been doing events, I've been doing X, Y, and Z. Let me actually make an organization that brings my creativity and the platforms that I'm gaining through these events and companies and make my own company. So
I
now,
like that.
Thank you. So now I have the Artwell Creative, and under that I'm still able to sew, design, as well as create consistent platforms for other artists in my life. So
That's good. That's good. I can relate on the house fire thing. I had a house fire, well, apartment fire in 2012.
wow.
So I can relate on that because it's like it's probably like I mean nobody was hurt, but I did lose my pets. So that was
that
like,
sucks.
that was
We
really
lost
hard.
some pets too. So
Yeah, so it's like one of those things where it's like really humbling, right? Like
it's truly humbling.
It puts you really into perspective because you're like you walk out of the house or you come to the house and all you have is the clothes on your back and you're
Exactly. My phone got damaged, my computers were gone, everything was gone. I was just like, oh, so this is life.
like okay, this is what we're doing now. And it really kind of it reveals to you like who your friends are, who's in your corner, who's not.
Yeah, exactly.
Off camera, I'll tell you the story. We're not talking about that right now.
Yeah, I understand.
But so did you leave school to do your clothing line?
Yes, I actually did.
Did you ever go back and finish?
No, I did not.
Not to put you on the spot, it's not necessarily always a requirement, especially if you've got your own business and you're successful, like sometimes.
So even at that time, I was a little bit confused because my mom was yelling at me, of course, and I was trying to understand, like, is this a good idea? Is this smart? Is this not?
It's scary.
Yeah, it was very scary, but I really didn't like school. And I saw the system that they were really trying to like put on us and perpetuate. I'm just like, so here I am, I'm already struggling, trying to make ends meet, but then you're giving me 10 assignments, I'm communicating with you, and even with my good communication that I've gotten through school, you're still not listening to me. So I'm just like, where am I and why am I hitting so much walls in school? So I said, okay, let me at least take some time off instead of getting bad grades. Let me actually just take some time off to really focus on one thing and see how far I can go with it. And if it's not gonna hit, then I'll actually just attend school again and do the whole thing professionally and take that route with a degree.
That's smart, to be honest with you, because there's so many of us, who go through school, and I know I have a lot of friends in college who are into college and just some of those. So you got the class of people, those who are partying and not doing their work, so they flunk out. Those who are only doing work and not partying, so they burn out. And then you got the people who don't know what they want to do and they're just wasting money. And college is expensive, so to be in college and not be deciding on what you want to do is dangerous. It's a slippery slope because you're really just wasting your time and you're wasting your money. And not to put anybody down right now, but it's like it's one of those things where unless you have a very set idea of what you want to do and why you're going to college, then until you figure out what that is, you need to wait because college is thousands and thousands of dollars. And unless you're rich and you got it, that's what's up. But for the rest of us, you don't really have that kind of money to be taking out student loans, and we've seen what happens with student loans. So it's like figure out what you want to do and really kind of narrow in on that so that when you do go to school, you're making the most out of it. So I respect your decision to kind of take a step back and say, okay, this isn't working for me.
Yeah, and I completely agree with what you just said. If you don't really have a honed-in idea of what you're trying to focus on, really just take a step back to really just understand and just ask yourself, what is it I like to do? What do I really want to take time with it and pursue? So it's good to talk to yourself. So.
And that's not to say if you're in college and you're undecided and it's like only a semester, okay, that's fine, it's just a semester. But if this is like you just don't know and you're going to college because somebody told you to, sometimes you got to worry about those
sometimes
things.
you really have to think about it and say, okay, let me actually understand.
Exactly. So let's go back to the Artwell Creative a little bit. So you've created this company now based on all the things that you like to do. But as a kid, you were into art and expressing yourself and stuff like that. So what is your preferred method of expressing yourself? Like, what gets you excited?
What gets me excited, honestly, right now, what calms me down more so and makes me happy is dance. So every time in the morning, at least when I have time, I turn on music, whether it be soca, reggae, or hip hop, trap. I just wake up. Sometimes I twerk. Sometimes I just whine. Sometimes I just want to just get the energy in my body. Like I'm just like, I'm grateful.
Yeah.
I have my limbs. I can move. Let me at least be active and show that. And then right now, my current form of expression is actually through graphic design. So throughout this year, I actually had to become a graphic designer to promote, to promote my company, to promote the events that I've had, because I do have graphic designers on my team, but to constantly stress them out, especially for last minute things or just even have to pay them 24/7, it was a lot, especially
flyers and stuff.
Especially at the beginning of the year. So I'm just like, okay, how can I Canva and other apps and PicMonkey and everything?
Nothing but a word. Pixels, oh my god, Pexels and Canva and so I'm speaking truth right now. I'm speaking truth.
So I had to do that throughout the year, and as I continued pushing certain events out, I was just I kind of actually like this, and I get to put my colors, I get to put whatever I want, and I get to work on branding for a lot of the artists that I work with too. So that actually allowed me to sharpen my branding side and marketing side at the same time. So that's really what calms me down: dance and graphic design.
Okay. And in terms of the Art Will Creative, what kind of projects have you guys done so far with that? I know it's probably been a lot, so just
it's a lot. I'm gonna try. So some of the most key ones have been the Bedside Art Show. So I had the opportunity to work on that with Keith Forrest and Autumn Otum. So she's a gallery specialist, an art specialist, art curator, art everything. So I actually met her in Brooklyn Commons when I had my office in Bushwick.
Okay.
So after I closed down, I decided to pursue some, just events with her and help her with the branding, because I thought what her idea was in terms of just bringing artists, community, and local businesses together through art was amazing. So I said, okay, cool, well I did an art gallery here, let me at least do an art gallery in her spot, and if a cafe wants some art, I'll put some art in there.
Yeah.
I'll have get local artists and just advertise for that. So I was able to recruit a few people. I met other people through events, and through that we teamed up to basically put artwork and help her with branding, and really just honestly help ourselves too at the same time.
Cool.
So it was mutually beneficial, and that was one of the projects that I've worked on, and I met other creatives too, and we've done things like open mics, and what else did we do? Mental health awareness events and stuff like that. Those are actually really, really good and necessary, and that was my first time actually attending one, probably in February.
Okay.
So that was my first time experiencing that, actually being able to communicate and talk with a whole bunch of people that I don't know, and actually relating. So I was like, this is interesting. This is actually healthy, and I didn't know I needed this breath of fresh air and such reassurance from strangers to know that actually things are okay, and I'm not the only one struggling as I'm growing.
That's powerful.
So that's what I've been doing with my organization, and now I'm just working on community work. So I'm working with a lot of community centers. I'm actually working on something with Minister Jazz.
Okay.
So she's really popular. She's really cool. She's been in the industry for a while. She's done things with politicians as well, giving them platforms. So I'm learning from her, and she's also a mental health coach as well. Nice. So I'm just learning a whole bunch right now, and those are just some of the projects that I'm working on.
Okay. Now, I met you in passing really quickly through Joanne on the 20th, this past Wednesday. You were in the middle of having an event.
Yes, I was.
So how did that go? And what was that event about? And are there going to be more of those in the upcoming future?
Hopefully. I look forward to just, fingers crossed. I hope there are more. But what I did on Wednesday was a pop-up art gallery. So this year I really actually started my business, and I've been just hopping around, and I had the opportunity to do that with WeWork and Weight Watchers.
Nice.
And then also through my office space, and now here doing a small business open desk session with Joanne, Laura, and Brooklyn Commons in the Flatbush location. So I had the event. We did start a little bit late, but we got the artwork up and everybody loved it. So the artwork really brought happiness to a lot of people. A lot of people just I need that. I'm just like, okay, cool. I'll talk to the artists.
Yeah.
But other than that, I love to see that energy. So if I could constantly bring that energy to people, just bring them light through art, I would love to continuously do that. So
that's awesome. Yeah, it was I think I was coming to the space I was coming to the to the open desk event as well, but also to just take a look, walk around. And I remember she brought me down there, and I was like, it's a whole nother room down here. What is going on? Every time I come in in this building, I find a whole new like corridor or section that I'm like, what in the world? Where did this come from? So I want to talk a little bit about some of the people that I guess you work with.
Yes.
Who is your ideal client? You know, like you have a lot of different genres in your business that you work with.
I do.
So in terms of, you know, what works best for you, you know, what kind of people actually excel, you know, with your services or within your organization?
Well, for the art part and the art pop-up galleries and the artists that I represent, I would say my most ideal artist to work with is somebody that's open, somebody that's willing to communicate about their visions and goals and what drives them, and then just seeing how we can just collaborate evenly and mutually benefit from really just working together.
Gotcha.
So my ideal client is somebody that can communicate, can listen, and we can just really collab and exchange ideas, you know, just evenly and have it flow. In terms of my event production, I would say someone who actually understands what goes into event production is my ideal client, because sometimes I think that I could just like whip it out like magic, like fairy dust, like poof. And I'm just like, no, I actually need a kind of a budget to work with, so I could.
There's always move around expectations at the door, like.
So I'm just like, so I can at least move around, so I can at least contact the proper staff, so I'm not the only one working, and then you get a half-assed. Can I curse?
It's fine.
Okay, cool. Get half-assed results. I really want to hire the proper staff. So if I'm given and allocated the proper budget, then I can make magic actually really happen.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say in terms of event production, just somebody knowing what really goes into it, so I can actually give them the desired result they want.
Yeah. I feel like there's always that moment when you first start working with somebody where you're like, okay, how about you bring your expectations to the table, and I bring mine, and we compare notes.
Seriously, that's how I think a lot of meetings should really go, so nobody's disappointed, nobody's over-expecting things, and nobody under-delivers.
Yes. Oh my goodness, there's so many times where like and I feel like a lot of reviews that people get and stuff like that are from clients that didn't manage their expectations. And it's like you were expecting the sun, the moon, and the stars, and you signed up to get a mountain.
Exactly.
So it's like, I mean, you know what I mean? So that's a very, very important aspect of business that I think a lot of people miss, is just managing expectations of clients and the relationship between the two.
But this is learned, so I had to learn this throughout the years. So I've actually grown really super fast, and I'm very grateful. I thank God for it, and I thank all the people around me.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that in January. I was just like, okay, cool, I'll do this for free, I'll do that for free, I'll do
Like,
I cannot do this for free.
Like,
I have to actually have something, and while I do want to constantly share and work with anybody, I have to understand too that I have to actually be nice to myself and kind to the people that I work with, and actually get budgets to work with. So.
Yes, exactly. So what is coming up on the horizon for you, either personally or through the Artwork Creative?
So currently I'm working with a company called MF Events. So it's Mark Furr, and he's an event coordinator specialist. So I've been working with this team for 2 years, and with him I'm able to do gigs with Afropunk, Def Jam. Who else did we work with? Sony and things like that.
Great.
So I'm getting a lot of experience by working with him and alongside my coworker Stacey Robinson, who also has her business Stay and See, and she's been in fashion with Complex and other organizations like that. So we're all teaming up right now, really trying to, of course, understand each other, bumping heads sometimes.
Get them expectations.
Of course. But honestly, I just started with them in this higher position, so I'm very grateful. But that's really what I'm working on towards, and I'm really trying to understand how to better work with them, so I can continue to hire out the artists that I've been working with. So through them, I'm able to hire out the artists that I work with that actually do bartend or serve or have just multiple disciplines, so we could all really work together, make money, and push our dreams and goals together. So
that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So where can people find you and follow you, or find and follow the Artwork Creative if they're interested in? You
can find me mostly on Instagram. So you can follow me at From the Amazon. That's my personal page, and then my business page is at Artworld Creative. I post on both.
Okay.
And then I also have my website, www.theartworldcreative.com. So.
Gotcha. So what we'll do is all this stuff goes up on YouTube. So what we'll do is we'll tag your page on the YouTube channel so that people who are interested can just follow the links and get right to you.
Of course.
But yeah, I want to thank you so much for being with us this afternoon and telling us your story and for sharing all the things that you've gone through and some of the struggles and the ups and downs and kind of just being real and genuine with the struggle.
No, I agree. The struggle is real sometimes.
Yes.
So you have to be honest about it so people can know how to get through it.
You do. It's not roses and sunshine. I think people need to understand that. So I'm appreciative that you were so transparent about it.
Thank you for having me.
Definitely. So, folks, we'll be back again with another brand new episode of Inside Brooklyn. Thank you to the sponsors who make this possible, Brooklyn Commons, WJMS Radio, and of course, Trendy Trippin'. We'll be back again with my co-host. She should be returning for the next episode. Until then, everybody have a safe and happy Thanksgiving, and I'll see you guys next time.